Hello, this is Kalee Coombs. I am the founder of Resonant Alchemy and of the Healing Sound Arts System. And welcome to my video. Today I wanted to share a story, and this is a story about how I came across sound healing for the first time. It wasn't the very first time, but it was a pivotal moment for me. It was when everything changed. And I went into sound healing as a sound healer and started healing myself. And it was amazing what I experienced when I first started to get my first sound healing instruments and singing to myself for healing. I was going through a lot of anxiety and stress. I was highly empathic, very sensitive. A lot of things were in my space. Like I could always feel what people were feeling. I could always feel the weight of their hearts. I could often tell what they were thinking. And it was just a constant bombardment of my environment. And I lived my life, practically my whole life this way, learning how to deal with this bombardment of information coming into my space. But I knew I was here for something more, something special. And I always wanted, in my heart, I always wanted people to be happy, to be peaceful, to feel content. And that seemed to be part of a bigger mission that I had to go through my life and learn more about. So when I started this whole journey of being a sound healer, it happened when I left my home. I grew up in the woods of Maine. I was a very sheltered young girl. And I left. I told my family I was going to go to California. My father at the time, he told me that I was crazy, that I couldn't go to a university because you have to be a genius and you have to be very wealthy to be able to go to the university. I didn't want to listen to anybody. I just knew in my heart that I needed to leave home and that I wanted to go and study. And I had already trained at the time. It was after high school. I had graduated. I had already trained with personal voice teachers. So I was already singing, and I had loved to sing since I was a little girl. And so I had the training. And I went out to California, and I ended up in San Diego at first. And then while I was there, I went through a bit of depression and everything. And I knew there was something more. And then I had this light bulb moment where I felt like I should go up north to San Francisco. For some reason, I just felt like maybe I should just apply for the university up there. And I should go up there. Something's telling me that I will meet a lot of good friends there. I will meet people like me, and I'll be able to pursue my degree in music. So I auditioned, I applied, and to my amazement, I auditioned as a voice major and I got in. My voice was, I guess, sufficient enough for them, and they were very impressed by my ear trainings. Well, this was exciting to me. What a big opportunity to, a sheltered girl like myself going all the way from Maine to California, and then finally, pursuing a degree in music and being accepted for my voice. I was in San Francisco, and although I appreciated the opportunity that I had for being there, and I was meeting a lot of wonderful people, I was meeting people who were more creative, who were more intellectual, who, I was just connecting with some really great people. There was still part of me, though, that said there's something more here. It's not just you're supposed to sing to people. It's not just that you're supposed to pursue this big dream and compose music. It's more than that. And so I was looking around. I was asking, well, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing with my voice? It has something to do with music, but I don't know what it is. And I happened to go to this fair. It was like a big convention, a new age fair, where they had speakers and workshops, and they had people set up with little shops. and they were selling things, and I was walking through and I looked over to my left and there was this beautiful crystal singing bowl sitting there on a table. And I went over and I looked at the bowl and I asked if I could play it, and I started playing the bowl, and it was really amazing. It was the most beautiful thing ever. So I was quite enchanted by it, and I felt like a strong pull to get this crystal singing bowl. But then next to it was a tuning fork, and I asked the woman who was the owner of the shop, what can you tell me about this tuning fork? I mean, I had seen them in music, you know, to find a note, you hit the tuning fork, or in science class, you know, you hit a tuning fork and the other one starts to sing along, you know, in resonance. And she tapped the tuning fork and she put it on my chest. And the most amazing thing happened. It was like the whole world opened up. It was like I had an awakening experience through the tuning fork, and I was feeling like I was just melting and I was expanding, and I felt so expanded and so at home at the same time from this one tone. And then she went up to my third eye, and it was like, it was just this tone of this tuning fork. I couldn't believe it. You know, this little metal object would create such and have such an effect on me. So I ended up purchasing the tuning fork. It was a little more in my price range than the crystal bowl, but I promised myself I would come back or research more crystal singing bowls because I just thought it was amazing. So this tuning fork and that tone and that experience that I had, it just changed my whole life from there. From there, I started exploring sound healing. I started exploring how sound made me feel, rather than how, if I was singing, how I was making others feel. I was paying attention to how I was feeling and how it was moving my energy and creating a new state of being within me. And I just wanted more. So from there, I would say maybe a week or two later, after I had been researching crystal singing bowls and sound healing and all of that. And by the way, when I started, there was hardly anyone doing this. There wasn't much online. It was kind of a self-exploration kind of thing, because I really felt like an island after I got started in this. I was really kind of a pioneer. Didn't really know any other people that were doing this. So I found myself with a bowl set on my living room floor, and I was playing and I was feeling bliss and I was transmuting everything in my space. I was clearing my space out every day. All the while I was downloading songs. I mean, I was writing down poetry to the music, and these melodies came in. It was just like I was in pure bliss, playing and creating and healing myself all at the same time. And so that was really the turning point for me. And that began my journey into sound healing. And I'd be really interested to know what your experience of when you first discovered sound healing is and how it made you feel. So please let me know in the comments. I would love to know. This is wonderful when we can share as a community. I hope that you can share and explore this journey with me. Next time I share a video about my story, it's going to be the one note that actually changed everything for me. And I've already told you a bit of the story already, but stay tuned to next week when I come back on for this series and I tell you about what that note was and how you can find your note in sound healing. So have a beautiful day and a beautiful week, and I will talk to you soon.